my screen and giving you this demonstration of the live HSRP, right? So wait. Okay, so this is my lab right now, and I'm using this. Okay, so this is same lab as we used it, like I explained you in the previous session. So right now I'm having two router. Okay, and let me copy this so you can able to understand it. Yeah, so I'm copying this into the whiteboard. Pranay Setu, good evening. Mohin Bhai, good evening. Right, so here I'm having Kausal, good evening. And I'm having this PC. So here I just configure IP address. Okay. So here I'm having like 100 dot, sorry, it is 10.1. Here I'm having like 10.100. Okay. And here I'm having one loopback IP, which is like 8.8.8. I just configure any normal process. So I can able to ping this 8.8. All these computers can able to ping using like either any way. Right. So this is what I just configured over here. Okay. So now if you want to find it out, let me go to the GNS. Right now I'm in PC1. Yeah, I'm in PC1. So this is like I'm in PC1. Here I'm going to use ping 8.8.8. Yeah. So I'm able to ping this. Mukesh, good evening. I'm able to ping here. Like this is what the loopback. Okay. Here I'm having loopback. Okay. And right now, if you want to find it out that, okay, what is my default gateway? Yeah. So currently I am using default gateway 10.1, right? Currently I am using default gateway 10.1. So this is what the 10.1 is. Okay. And now if suppose 10.1 goes down, I will be in problem. Why? Because I can add only one default gateway. So here we have this 10.1 and here I'm having this 10.100. Okay. If you want to find it out, I can go to R2. Yeah. And here I'm having this 10.100, right? So multiple gateway, multiple first hop redundancy, like multiple first hop routers. Yeah. So 10.100, right? Okay. Do you have any problem to understand this? This is like I can say that this is my router. I'm able to communicate using these two particular router. And right now there is a default gateway 10.1 in each and every computer, right? And I don't want to depend on 10.1. So if I'm going to use 10.1 as a default gateway, if this R1 router goes down, I will be in problem. And I don't want to depend on that particular gateway, right? And that's why I'm going to configure HSRP. Okay. So if you are thinking that lab, that particular environment is clear, just type clear so I can go ahead. Yeah. I don't want that, like if you are confused in this particular matter, okay, I can explain more, but the lab must be very clear. Yeah, the lab must be very clear. This is what I require. Okay. Yes. This is like useless connected port. Yeah. Nikhil is saying clear. Okay. Good. Okay. Kausal is saying clear. Okay. So now very easy matter, and the matter is HSRP. Yeah, we are going to configure HSRP. So the first thing is you have to go to the R1. Okay, I'm going to R1. Then you go to the interface which is connected with your switching. Like here we have this 10.1, right? So 10.1 is a fast Ethernet 1/0. So you have to go to the fast Ethernet 1/0. Okay, and here you can give the command IP. Okay, standby 1. Okay, the command is standby 1, and then you have to give command IP, and then you just decide your virtual IP. Okay, you just decide your virtual IP. This is what our IP will be. Like, let me open this. So you can, yeah, this is what our current scenario is. Okay, and I'm configuring this, like I want this particular IP as a virtual IP, right? So I'm in this particular router. So this is like 10.1 and my requirement is a 10.200. Okay. So now the command is standby1 IP 192.168.10.200. Yeah. Virtual IP. What is my requirement is virtual IP should be 10.200. So I'm going to give this command, enter. Okay, same command, I have to go to the R2, interface fast Ethernet 1/0. Okay, same interface which is having 10.100. Yeah, IP, sorry, standby1, and then IP, and here is like 192.168.10.200. Okay, 10.200 is IP address of my virtual router, right? So enter. Right now, tell me, like I just configure this R1 and R2. Yeah, so which router will be active? Which router will be active over here in this condition? Which router will be active? Yeah, you can say in our condition we have this R1 and R2. So guys, tell me which router will be active, R1 or R2? Yeah, R1 or R2, which router will be active? Question is, I just configure HSRP in both router, and which router will be active? Okay, R1 or R2? You just need to give answer R1 or R2. Yeah. Nikhil is saying R1. Okay. Others? R1 will be active. Okay. Nitish Sharma is saying R1. Okay. Ningappa is saying R1. Okay. Okay. Now, why you all guys are saying R1? Yeah. Why you are saying that R1? Like, what is the criteria? Yeah. What is the criteria to become active router? Yeah. What is the criteria to become active router? Yeah. Like, okay, your answer is like R1. Why you guys are saying R1 will be the active router? Yeah. Based on the priority or based on the IP address? Okay. Based on the priority or based on the IP address? What is your answer? If you are thinking that priority, just type PR. If you are thinking that IP, just type IP. Yeah. Priority, PR, IP. Okay. So you guys are saying R1 will be active. So I just want to know that why R1 will be active. Yeah. Why R1 will be active? Priority. Okay. So, okay, Nitish Sharma is saying priority. Okay. So Nitish, do you think that priority of R1 is higher? Yeah. Priority of R1 is higher. Okay. Nikhil is also giving me same answer. So do you think that priority of R1 is higher than R2? And I just give only one command. Yeah. I just give only one command. And it is what, like a standby1 IP. And you just decided that it is based on the priority. Yeah. It is you decided that it is based on the priority. And the matter over here is I even not configure priority of any router. Yeah. So I'm using default priority. Right. I'm using default priority. So if I'm using default priority, now tell me what is the default priority for the HSRP? And what is the priority of R1 and R2? Yeah. Tell me default priority of HSRP routers and tell me the priority of R1 and R2. Yeah. See, I can able to clear this point within a 1 day, like within a 1 minute. Yeah. But I'm keep asking you question. Why? Because I already explained you all this yesterday. Yeah. I already explained you all this yesterday. And today I'm getting this total new answers. Okay. And once it will be like a question answer session, it will be very easy. Otherwise, what happened? You can able to forget it easily. Yeah. So my question is, Nitish, Nikhil, Mukesh, Ningappa. Yeah. My question is, what is the default priority for the HSRP? Yeah. What is the default priority for HSRP? Okay. Just tell me. Actually, people don't argue with their own data. Yeah. So if you will give me answer, default priority highest will be active because it should be R2 active. Default priority, what is Kausal? What is the meaning of this? Default priority. Yeah. Mukesh Bhagat, yeah, please repeat the question. My question is, what is the default priority for, yeah, what is the default priority for HSRP routers? Yeah, what is the default priority for HSRP routers? Yeah, standby group, like what is the default priority in the HSRP? Naresh Chaya is saying 100, right? Naresh Chaya is saying 100. Okay, let me wait for someone. Yeah, because Naresh Chaya is like, you are late today. Naresh, you are late. Ningappa, 100. Okay. So Nitish bhai, what is the default priority of R1 and R2 should be? What would be the priority of R1 and R2? Yeah. Kausal is saying 100 is a default. So what is the default priority for R1 and R2? Right now, what would be the priority of R1 and R2? Right now, yeah, because I just configure this command. So like I'm using default, right? So what is the default priority right now? Like what should be the priority of R1 and R2? You just have to tell me. Yeah, I can give you this detail, but I just want to know from you. Right now, I just configured IP address of HSRP active virtual router, right? So now tell me what would be the default priority of R1 and R2. And you already said me 100. So like it is equal for R1 and R2. Okay. So now you guys are saying that R1 will be active. So it should not be based on the priority, because priority of both my routers is basically same. Yeah, both HSRP router is using default priority and it is 100. So how can you decide that R1 is the active router based on the priority? Yeah. Confusion or not? Confusion or not? Let me remove your confusion. Okay, this is the same mind map we are using. Yeah, this is the same mind map, and here high bandwidth should be. Mukesh, you were there for yesterday or not? You attended the yesterday session or not, Mukesh? Okay, see, this is the mind map that I used. Okay, and here, see this priority. Yeah, see this priority. Okay, and now router with the highest priority become active router. Yeah, router with the highest priority become active router. But if you configure priority otherwise, it is default. So the default priority is 100. And if the priority is the same, router with the highest IP address become active router. Yeah, if the priority is same, router with the highest IP address become active router. Yeah, this is like a clearly mentioned over here, and I just finished this particular mind map yesterday. Okay, I just cleared this mind map yesterday, right? So now tell me, which router will be active? What do you think? Which router will be active? ISIP address become active. Yeah. Now tell me the answer. Like I know that ISIP will become the active. Yeah. So here you have this IP configuration and everything. So give me answer. Like which router will be active? IP like 10.100 or 10.1? Yeah, R2. Yeah, R2. Okay, R2. So let me verify this. Okay, I got active router, this particular router local, and here I got this so standby. Yeah, here I got it like active router is 10.1. Yeah, I got this message over here. Yeah, why I will explain you. Okay, why I will explain you. Why? Because this prompt is disabled. And what happened when you configure your router first time? Yeah, when you configure your router first time, what happened? Like this router will become active because R1 don't have any active router. Yeah, R1 don't have any other active router, so he become active, right? He become active. Then you got this router R2. So when R2 comes into the picture, active router is already there. So this router will become standby. Yeah, so R2 will become standby. Okay, now the rule is if the same router, like if the priority is same, router with the highest highest IP address become the active router. Yeah, this is what the rule. But here it is not working. Why? Because the matter is primed. Yeah, primed is disabled. Yeah, so primed is disabled. Okay, so if the primed is disabled, what happened? If the captain goes out, vice captain become captain, and when captain comes back, it cannot become captain. It has to work as a vice captain, even though it has the highest priority, right? And we are getting active router, like we are getting R1 as an active router because this prompt is disabled. Yeah. So don't go on this on-screen detail. Yeah. The theoretical topic and theoretical point is this is the point. Yeah. You all are give this answer R1 because you just see this, so this and that particular screen that R1 is active. Yeah, that's why you give answer. But the matter is, this is what the theoretical point, right? So R1 should not be active, R2 should be active. Why? Because it has the highest IP address. Okay, but we have this prim disable, and that's why we are getting this particular router as active. Okay, so let me go to R1 and interface fast ethernet 0/0, sorry, interface fast ethernet 1/0, and then give me command standby 1 primed. Yeah, standby 1 primed, interface fast ethernet 1/0 and standby 1 primed. I just enable primed, right? Now wait. Yeah, R1 should be so standby. Okay, here we have this hello timer. Wait for some time. Here we have this primed enable. Active router is 10.1 right now. Okay, active router is 10.1. Right now it is a 10.1. It should be, even I can say it must be 100.2. Yeah, because IP with the highest IP address will become root, like become a active. This is like a true word. Okay, if I'm getting here is like a different, don't worry about it, follow this particular matter. Yeah, prompt is enabled, and if the priority is the same, yeah, if the priority is the same, this router must be active. But right now I'm getting this router as active. No problem, let me change this priority. Okay, so I'm going to R2, and I'm going to change the priority of R2. Okay, I'm going to change the priority of R2. So config T, interface fast ethernet 1/0, standby 1, priority 120. Okay, so now the priority of R2 is high. Now it become active, and R2 become a standby. Yeah, you can find it out using this command, so standby. Yeah, and here we have this active router is local, R2 is a so standby. Okay. Uh, Active router is 192.168.10.100, right? Yeah, do not forget this. This is true wording. Okay. So why I got this router as active, maybe that I don't know, but this is what the truth, right? So in the exam and anywhere, you have to give answer like this particular mind map. Yeah, and I will like, if there is a mistake from me, I will clear this in the next session. So right now I have to go with the flow, so we'll do this. Otherwise I will verify this and I will give you explanation on next session. Yeah, so right now we can say that R2 is active. Yeah, because it has a high priority, and R1 is a standby. Okay, now I want to verify the connectivity. Yeah, I want to verify the connectivity. So I'm going to my computers. Yes, this is my PC. Now my PC having this. Yeah, this is what the default gateway of my PC. And I cannot use this as a default gateway because now I have to add IP address of virtual router as a gateway, right? So I'm going to give like IP 192.168.10.2. Same IP I'm going to use, and here I can say 192.168.10.200. Yeah, 200. Why 200? Because we have this. Yeah, so virtual IP address will be the default gateway. Yeah, virtual IP address of virtual IP address will be the default gateway, right? So here is, right, I just changed the default gateway. Now I am not using IP address of R1 as a default gateway, not as a 10.100 as a default gateway. Right now I am using IP address of the virtual router as a default gateway, right? And now I'm going to ping 8.8.8.8, right? And see, I'm getting ping. Okay, now tell me, if I'm getting this ping, okay, if I'm getting this ping by using which router, like my data is actually transferring. Yeah, if I'm pinging this 8.8.8, right now my data is transferring by using which router, R2 or R1. This is R2 and this is R1, right? So can you tell me what is R1 or R2? If I'm pinging from this PC, default gateway is like a 10.100, and if I'm getting this 10.200, and if I'm getting this ping, it is the data is going through which router, R1 or R2? Yeah, R1 or R2. R1 is a standby router, R2 is a active router. Yeah, yes. So my data is passing through R2 because R2 is an active router, right? R2 is an active router. Okay, so let me give you all the details. Here we have state is active. So this particular router is active. Why this router is active? Because I just said higher priority of this router. It is like 120. Virtual IP address is a 10.200. Okay, active virtual MAC address is 000CACA01. Yeah, I already explained you over here. 0000C07. And as we are created one, that's why the virtual, like I give the command standby group 1. So we have this 01. Yeah, and this is what the hold down timer. Okay, 3 second and 10 second. Okay, next hello will be sent by this particular second. I already explained preempt enable. So everything is like normal. Yeah, and now what I'm doing, see, verify this ping is working. Okay, and what I want to do is like I have to shut down some of the interface. Yeah, I have to shut down the interface so I can able to get ping using 10.1. Okay, so I'm going to R2. Yeah, I'm going to R2, and the interface that we are using is fast Ethernet 1/0. So interface fast Ethernet 1/0, and I'm going to shut this interface. Yeah, I just shut down this interface, and now go to PC1. See, I just got one ping down, and then I'm getting my ping. So right now R2 is down. Yeah, here we have our active router is down, and now R1 become active. Yeah, R1 become active, and now I'm getting my ping as well. Okay, got it? So this is what the power of HSRP. This is what the power of HSRP. Now, I'm going to R2. and I'm going to give no shut command over here. Okay, so when I will give this no shut command over here, this R2 will be come back. Yeah, this R2 will be come back. Now tell me what will be the status of R2 when it will be come back. Yeah, what will be the status of R2 when it will be come back? It can be active or standby. Yeah, you have to tell me status of R2. Yeah, it can be active or standby. Give me answer. What will be the status when R2 will come back? What is the status? Okay, Kausal. Okay, Nitish Sharma is saying active. Kausal is saying active. Romi is saying standby. Okay, Kausal. Wow, thank you. But yeah, tell me what is the yeah active? Okay, why active? Why active? So my question is, I am agree with you. Yeah, I'm agree with you. When R2 will be come back, yeah, when R2 will be come back, R2 will be active. Yeah, but why R2 will be active? Any specific reason? If you know this reason, type reason, or if you don't have any reason, say no. Yeah, so yes, I am agree with you. When R2 will be come back, R2 will be active. Okay, high priority, is it enough? High priority is enough. Yeah, it is enough. Like it is enough. Yes, preempt is enable. Yeah, preempt is enable. Because the preempt is enable, yeah, it will be like active. Otherwise, what happen? When captain is coming back, it has to work as a vice captain, right? So now I'm going to enter no shut. So R1 will is like R1 is come back, and then it will be like active. And keep this in mind, it is happening over here because yes, Sachin is a new good Sachin, welcome. Right? So now R1 is active, right? So R1, sorry, R2 is active. The only reason is we just enable preempt. Yeah, if preempt is enabled, then active, otherwise standby. Yeah, this is true, Mukesh. Preempt is already enabled, and that's why it is like it is working like this, right? So understand the meaning of preempt as well. Okay, understand the meaning of preempt. It is required to understand, right? So done. This is what HSRP is, basic HSRP. Now let me ask you one question. Yeah, let me ask you one question. Suppose if I will remove this particular interface, yeah, suppose if I will remove this particular interface, and in our lab, I can say that if I am going to remove this particular interface, yeah, this particular interface, if I will remove this, okay, what going to happen? Like if I will remove this, what will happen? Wait. If I will remove this particular interface, yeah, red line is like, yeah, you are getting this. If I will remove this interface, R2 is now active. And if I'm going to remove this interface from R2 to ISP, yeah, from R2 to ISP, what will happen? What will happen? Like, can I get ping or not? If I'm going to remove this interface, which is like a red one, from R2 to ISP, yeah, from R2 to ISP, okay, can I get ping? Yes or no? Can I get ping? Yes or no? See, my question is, if I'm going to remove this, okay, red line, R2 is active now and R2 to ISP. Okay. So Naresh Chaya is saying no, I will not get ping. Yeah, I will not get ping, right? Naresh and Kausal is saying I will not get ping. Okay, good. Anyone else? I'm going to remove connectivity between R1 to ISP. Yeah. So will I get ping? Like, can I get ping from PC1? PC1. Okay, I'm saying from PC1. Naresh, Kausal, keep this in mind. I am saying that, can I get ping from PC1? Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? There is only two answer. Okay. I'm waiting for others to be active. Yeah. If I will remove the connectivity between R2 to ISP, can I get ping from PC1 to ISP? Yeah. Can I get ping from PC1 to ISP? Yeah. If you don't know, just type confused. Yeah. Just type confused. Then it is like, okay. Or either type don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me remove this. Let me remove this. Yeah. Sachin is saying via R1. Nikhil is saying yes. Okay. So like I got 4 reply. And out of 4, it is like a 2 yes. Now 3 says yes. Okay. Now 3 says yes. So let me verify this. R1 will be active. Okay. 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 Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Yeah. I just removed this. But the problem is, okay, no problem. Yeah, it works, right? Okay. So I'm going to R1. Sorry, I'm going to PC1. And oh, no. See, here it is like a see, destination host unreachable. Yeah, destination host unreachable. It means you are not getting ping. You are not getting ping. Yeah, you are not getting ping. So the matter is, if I am removing this particular interface, yeah, if I am removing this interface, red interface between R2 to switch 1, R1 become active. Yeah, R2 is active now, R2 is standby. And when I am removing this particular red interface, like red colored interface, yeah, R1 become active and we got ping. But when I remove this particular interface, yeah, when I remove this particular interface between R2 to ISP, yeah, R1 is not becoming active router. See this, if you want to verify, see this right now, R1, let me see the status of R1. R1 is still standby and R2 is still active. Yeah, active router is local. And because right now R2 is a local, I am not able to get this ping, right? I am not able to get this ping. So the matter is, when I just remove this particular interface, yeah, just interface between R2 to switch 1, when I remove this, I got ping. Why? Because R1 become active, and then my traffic pass through the R1, right? This is like a very normal matter. But when I remove this R2 to ISP, I am not getting this ping, and R2 is now still active router. R2 is now still active router, right? So can anyone tell me why when I remove this R2 it works? When I just remove this particular R2 to ISP, it is not working, right? So can anyone explain me why? Can anyone explain? Like any idea? Any idea? Single word you can type. Single word. Any idea? Yeah. Or if you want, like, if you want me to explain, just type you explain. Yeah. Type YE, and then I will explain you. But suppose if you have any idea, yeah. If you have any idea, I have to ask some questions. Otherwise, what happened? Like you are watching this like a web series and anything. Yeah. So mine may be in the different direction. And I'm keep asking you question because I want that you see this video and your mind should be over here only. Yeah. So yes. If you don't have any idea, just type UYE. Yeah. You explain. Yes. Nikhil is saying you explain. Yeah. Nikhil, it is like the easiest way. Yeah. I want other to type this YE. R2 is down because it will disconnect VIP between R1 and that's why R1 is active. If R2 port will be down. No. Okay. Sachin is saying interface tracking is not configured. Yeah. This is what the matter. But the why I have to configure interface tracking that I'm explaining you. Yeah. So interface tracking is required. This is true. You have to configure. Yeah. Okay. See, the matter is, guys, you are giving me solution. Yeah. First of all, you have to find out that why. Okay. The requirement is you have to find out the why. The real study like the study system is you have to find out that why. And then you have to find out how. Right? First of all, you have to find out why. Like, what is the problem? Why I need to do this? Yeah, why I need mobile. So you are always doing this. Like, first of all, you have to find out why. And then you can say that, okay, why I need mobile. You know this, like why you need this. And then finally you say, okay, how to buy mobile. Okay. So whenever you are learning, the process should be you must have a detail about why. Yeah. And then you can say how. Right. So the matter over here is, let me connect that. Let me connect this interface first. Okay. So I don't know which port I'm using. So I have to go to router first. And here is, wait, R2. Yeah. So IP interface brief. I am using fast Ethernet 0/1 of R2. Yeah, fast Ethernet 0/1. I just connected with fast Ethernet 0/0. And here I have to verify this. Let me go to the IST. Yeah, it is 0/1, 0/1. It is done, right? It is done. And now let me go to the PC one. Yeah, I'm getting my ping back. Okay. To provide uninterrupted internet between PC1 and PC5. This is right. Good. See, let me explain you matter. Yeah. So just type clear command in your mind. Okay. Remove all other stuff and whatever what is now I'm telling you, this will be the final answer, right? See, I already explained one thing yesterday, and it is what we call hello timers, right? We called hello timers, right? Hello message and hold down timer. Yeah. So in the HSRP, we have this default timer 3 seconds and the hold down timer is 10 seconds. I already explained you this yesterday, right? Now, what is happening over here? Suppose I'm having two router. So F0, like this particular R2 router is sending hello packet using this particular interface, and R1 is getting this hello packet. Okay. So R1 is getting this hello packet from R2, and it now R1 knows that, okay, R2 is live. I'm getting hello packet, and this is like, okay, there is no problem at all. R1 is live, right? And they are communicating with this hello packet using that particular interface. Yeah, they are using like R2 is sending to using fast Ethernet 0/1. It is going through switch and they are communicating using this. Yeah, this is switch and they are using this hello communication using this switch, right? This is what happening. Now when I remove this particular interface, yeah, when I remove this particular interface, okay, R1's hello packet is interrupted. Now R1 is sending hello packet, but it is not possible to get by R1. Yeah, so now R2 is disconnected. So when R2 is sending hello packet, it will not receive by R1. So when R2 is sending hello packet, R1 will not receive this. Why it is interrupted? This particular link is not available. Red link is now not available. And now R1 decided that, okay, I'm not getting hello packet. I'm not getting hello packet from R2. It means I can wait for 10 seconds and now I have to become active. Yeah. So the communication between hello, like the communication of hello is a factor that deciding this, okay, I should become active or not. Yeah. So when I remove this red line right now, okay, R1 didn't get any hello packet from R2, and then he become active router after 10 seconds, right? It was the case, it was the case when I removed this link. Okay. Now what happened over here? I just removed this particular line. Yeah. Red line. I just removed this. But in this case, R1 is like R2 is sending hello packet, R2 is sending hello packet, and R1 getting hello packet. So R1 is saying that, okay, I'm getting hello packet from R1. So this is like good. R2 is live, and I do not want to become like, I cannot become active because right now R2 is active, right? So in this particular case, if you are removing this particular link, yeah, if you are removing this particular link, R1 is not becoming active because still it is getting hello packet from R2, and according to R1, everything is normal. Everything is normal, right? And that's why we are not getting ping. So this is the problem. Okay, this is the problem, and I need to solve this problem. Okay, so why is this? Okay, yeah, but right now R2 is active. Right now R2 is active, right? Right now R2 is active. So I'm talking about R2. Same thing can be happen with R1 also. But right now we can say that R2 is active router. So I'm talking about R2, right? Same thing can be happen with any situation, right? So you are saying like true. So now this is why. And I need to solve this problem. And the problem solution is, we can say, interface tracking. Okay, what I can say? Interface tracking. So how to set the interface tracking? So I'm going to R2. Yeah, I'm going to R2. Okay, and here we have this track. Okay, track 1, interface, fast Ethernet 0/1. Okay, what I do over here, I just give one command, track 1, interface, fast Ethernet 0/1. Now which is 1? This is what? 0, 1. Okay, I just going to the R2. See this. I am in R2 and I just give one command, track 1, interface, fast Ethernet 0/1. Now this is the 0/1. Yeah, 0/1. And then just type enter. Sorry. And here we have to like line protocol. Okay. And then enter. Okay. So now what happened? Track 1, interface, fast Ethernet 0/1 and line protocol. So it will track line protocol of fast Ethernet 0/1. Yeah. It will track fast Ethernet line protocol of fast Ethernet 0/1. So when this particular track down, track will also be down, right? So now done. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is like going to the interface fast Ethernet 0/1. Here we have actually 1/0. Okay. And here you can track this like track. Sorry. Wait a minute. Standby 1. Yeah. Track. You can set from here also directly fast Ethernet 0/1. No need to give that particular track command. You can track from here directly. Yeah. So standby 1, track fast Ethernet. Which interface I want to track? 0/1. Yeah. So type 0/1. And now how you want to implement this? So the command would be like track 1. Sorry, standby 1, track fast Ethernet 0/1 and if fast Ethernet 0/1 goes down, yeah, if fast Ethernet 0/1 goes down of R2, it will decrease, yeah, it will decrease the priority of your router by how much? So you have to find it out. What is the current priority of your router R2? What is the current priority? It is 120, right? So now I am saying that if fast Ethernet 0/1 goes down of R2, yeah, just decrease the priority by 30, yeah, just decrease the priority by 30. This command is not okay, this command is not useless, like don't know, you don't use this, okay? Just go to this particular HSRP and give the command stand by 1, track fast Ethernet 0/1 and by 30. So as Nikhil said, the current priority of R2 is 120. Now if fast Ethernet 0/1 of R2 goes down, yeah, if fast Ethernet 0/1 of R2 goes down, the priority will be decreased by 30. Now if the priority of R2 decreased by 30, it will be 120 minus 30, so it will be like 90, right? And it will be less than priority of R1, because R1 is using default priority 100, right? So then R1 become active. Understood it or not? Yeah, I just give one wrong command over here, and it was the track command. Yeah, like years ago it was the command there, but right now you can give it directly from here. Yeah, so you just need to give one command, stand by 1, track fast Ethernet 0/1 and 30. So the meaning is, if fast Ethernet 0/1 of that particular R2 router goes down, decrease the priority by 30, right? And now if I'm going to like, it will decrease automatically, and then R1 become active, because R1 will get the higher priority. And keep this in mind, preempt must be enabled. Yeah, if your preempt is not enabled, R1 will not get the active role, because preempt is required, right? So now I'm going to down this. So I'm going to R2 right now. I'm in R2, and I'm going to fast Ethernet 0/1, and I'm going to give like command shut. Yeah, 0/1. I'm going to shut down 0/1. Yeah, this is 0/1, and just give shut. So now what happened? This is down. See this line protocol down. Okay, administratively down. This is like a state active to speak, and R1 become active. And over here you can find out. Okay, so standby. It is now active router, and you will get ping. Yeah, you will get ping. And if you go to R2, and if you give command over here like so standby, yeah, active router is standby 1, standby router is local, and priority is 90 over here. And if you say check over here, configured is 120. Yeah, so the configured priority of my router is 120, but because track interface fast Ethernet 0 state down, yeah, right now fast Ethernet 0/1 is down, that's why it is decrement by 30. Yeah, and right now it is 90. Okay, so now I'm getting ping. Okay, now what happened if I'm going to configure fast Ethernet 0/1 and I'm going to up the interface? Yeah, if I will enable this fast Ethernet 0/1, what would happen? Yeah, fast Ethernet 0/1. If I will enable this fast Ethernet 0/1 again, what would happen? Yeah, R2 will become active, or R2 will be stay as a like a standby. And what will be the priority of R2? Yeah, what will be the priority of R2? If I will enable this fast Ethernet 0/1, what will be the priority of R2? Yes, can you give me? Nikhil Wag, yeah, anyone? If I will give enable this, yeah, so let me give like no shut. Yeah, so if it is a no shut, again the priority will be 120 and it will be active. Yeah, so see this. So standby. Okay, and here is like the priority is now 120, state is up, and again this router R1 R2 become active. Yeah, so here we have this R2 and R1, and now it is working, and I'm getting ping from R2. So R2 is now active, right? So this is how the system works. Yeah, hello works over here, hello works over here, and then the matter is you can able to track the interface if you are talking about this particular interface. Yeah, this is how it works. But we are having one problem. Okay, we are having one problem, and problem is right now whenever I am sending any data, yeah, whenever I am sending any data, it is going through R2. Yeah, it is going to R2. It is going through R2. The matter is I am not utilizing bandwidth of R1. It means it is just a waste of money or bandwidth because my all the data is actually passing through R2. Actually passing through R2. Okay. So I want to utilize both. Yeah. I want to utilize both. How can I do this? Any idea? Yeah. Any idea? Anyone? Yeah, the problem with the HSRP is there will be only one active router. Okay, and I want that both routers should be active. Can I utilize bandwidth of both router using HSRP? Yeah, any idea? And yes, keep this in mind. Okay, this is like a true thing. IP, if priority is the same, router with the highest IP address become active. This is like a truth. Okay, and maybe I didn't get this. I don't know. I have to verify this. Otherwise, this is the right thing. Yeah. So here I can do one thing. So both router will become active. Yeah, both router can become active. Okay. How can I do this? The matter is I'm already having standby group 1. Yeah, I'm already having standby group 1. And in the standby group 1, R2 is active. Yeah, in the standby group 1, R2 is active, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one another standby group, and it will be like a standby 2. Now if I'm going to create another standby group, it has one another virtual IP. Okay, and then I will decide that okay, R1 will be the active for standby group 2. Yeah, R1 will be the active for standby group 2, and I can do that using the priority, right? And then R2 will be the passive, and then I will have two gateway. One is a 200 and one is a 201. Now I can add different default gateway in this PC. So for example, in this particular PC 1, 2, and 3, I will add 200 as a default gateway, and PC 4 and 5 will get 201 as a default gateway, right? I can do this. So let me do this. Okay. So I'm going to R2 first. I'm going to R2. Yeah. And I'm going to give this command. See, standby 1 is already there. Okay. Standby 1 is already there. So interface, fast Ethernet, 1/0. Keep this in mind in which interface I am. Yeah. 1/0. You can give command standby 1. Sorry, standby 2. Okay. IP. Standby 2 will get IP address 192.168. Yeah. That I will tell you, like 255. Okay. It's like how many groups you can create. See, standby. Yeah, we have 0 to 255, right? So total is like a 256 if you count both 0 to 255. So total IP address that I can. So total standby group you can configure is 0 to 255, right? So total it be 256. So standby 2, then give IP 192.168.10.201. Okay, this will be the IP address. Okay, then I'm going to configure everything from this R2 first of all. Now standby 2 primed. Okay, standby 2 primed. and I want this, okay, I'm okay with R2's priority, so I don't want to change the priority because I want that R1 become active. Yeah, R1 become active. So this is done. Now I'm going to R1. Yeah, I'm going to R1. Interface pass Ethernet 1/0. Standby 2. IP 192.168.10.201. Yeah. Standby 2. Print. Standby 2. And priority, I want to set, like I want that R1 become active, right? So 120. Right? So now R1 become active for standby 2. Yeah, for standby 2. So right now you can say that my one router is active for standby 1, which is R2. My other router is active for standby 2, which is R1, right? And now in the PC1, the default gateway is 200. Now in the PC2, yeah, in the PC2, I'm going to add, like I'm going to add 10.201, yeah, 10.201 as a default gateway, right? So now if I'm going to ping 8.8.8, this data is going through R1. Yeah, this data is going through R1. So when PC is sending the data, it is using default gateway 10.200. And this R2 is active for 10.200 because this is for the standby group 1 and data is going through R2, right? When PC2 is sending the data, it is using default gateway 201, and active router for 10.201 is R1. So data is passing through this particular, yeah, this particular interface. Yeah, it is called MHSRP, yeah, multiple HSRP, right? And if you go here, okay, and if you go to R1 and give the command, see, so standby, yeah, so standby. So we have two standby group 1 and group 2. R1 is standby router for group 1, but it is active router for group 2. And if you go to R2 and give command like so standby, yeah, active router is this, like R2 is active router for standby group 1 and standby router for standby group 2, right? Like yeah. So this is how HSRP works. Okay, right now we just settle our setting because of with this my both router is active. Now if anyone goes down, I don't need to worry because if R1 goes down, okay, R1 goes down, R2 become active router for standby 2. If R2 goes down, R1 become active router for standby 1. So in any condition, my communication can happen. I will get uninterrupted service and I am utilizing bandwidth of my both the routers. So there is not like active passive now, and this is how the system works, right? But if I don't have Cisco routers, I cannot configure HSRP, so I have to configure VRRP. But right now the time is over, so we are going to configure HSRP in the next session. Yeah.